we are gonna do a mini throwback to last year's Briançon finals. This clip was done 4 different ways. Let's go in depth into all 4 executions. Ogata chose to use this orange undercling. Now this undercling actually looks quite decent, but what is not so ideal is how high this undercling is. Ideally, you want underclings positioned somewhere near your ribs. The higher the undercling, the more awkward and physical it is to oppose the undercling with your feet. And this one is almost shoulder height. He even had to shift his hips slightly away from the wall to make space for his left arm to clip. You can see that right after the clip, he stands a bit taller and tucks his hips in slightly to where he can feel the opposition the best. Is there a less physical way to clip? How about a more physical one? Taisei Homa opted to go one hold higher using this bad sloper. He cupped it with his fingers tightly bundled, also needing additional friction from his entire lower arm. But even then, opposing this sloper was tricky. So to clip, he had to remove the right arm, which removes one source of opposition for the northwest facing sloper. Unfortunately, his feet were northwest facing too, so he had no clear way to oppose the sloper. But don't forget, there's the underside of the foothold. He sneaked in a left toe, and this does 2 things. First, this directly opposes the right toe, creating a bicycle where one foot steps down while the other pulls up. Second, while the toe itself can provide opposition, the bicycle gives you more control in directing the opposition, and can take more weight off your arms. All of this gave him half a second to let go of the undercling and do the clip. Wow, that is a lot to perform, both technically and physically. Surely there is a better way? Hannes from Sweden clipped from even higher at the next crimp. This looks like the best position so far. The crimp looks generously in-cut, and while it is slightly tilted to the right, which isn't ideal, he found a left heel for opposition, resulting in a clip that looked the most comfortable position-wise. But even this position has a crucial flaw. If you don't have the height to reach the crimp from this orange foothold, the quality of the position drastically worsens. Anraku's sequence provides a very nice alternative. It clips from below instead from this side pull. This clip is actually quite far, but the decent side pull coupled with the huge foothold makes this a relatively trivial task. This also allows him to tackle the crux worry-free all the way to the next good holds. But hold on, we're not done yet. Going back to before the clip, from this pinch, instead of going feet first like Ogata, Hannes, and Masahiro, Sorato opted to pull straight up to the black side pull instead. I would have chosen to swing my feet over too. They looked comfortable toe or heel hooking the protruding left side of the black hold. It seems this took a lot of weight off their arms for the move to the side pull. This also sets up their feet, so they conveniently arrive at a position to oppose the vertical side crimp. Whereas pulling straight up seems quite insane at first glance. Both the holds are leftward facing, so launching from the right to the left is risky, because you are limited in opposing any excess leftward momentum. He first adjusts his hand position, placing his right hand on the left part of the hold. The right hand is also tilted ever so slightly to the right. He pulls, cut loose for barely a second, then re-establishes opposition with a single foot plant. 2 details here. First, notice how he is conservative with his generation. He doesn't go too high or too leftwards, and doesn't overpull on the left side pull. This lets him maintain control of the right pinch. Second, he maintains eye contact all the way until his fingers perfectly hit the crimp, then wastes no time shifting his gaze to the area he intends to plant his left foot. Here's a masterclass on hand-heel matching on a pocket jug. 1. Grab the lower part of the hold to make space for the heel. 2. Since there still isn't enough space, remove the index finger and place part of the heel in. 3. Concurrently release more fingers as you roll more of the heel in. Lastly, load the heel, freeing your right hand. Shortly after, she had a unique way of generating for a pretty large cross move. This is the more common way, where the right arm shoots straight towards the hole. Instead, Kumi's hand had a rainbow trajectory, keeping the whole right arm straight and swinging it overhead towards the hold. Comparing side by side, Hilly had a slight bend in the arms, creating a more direct trajectory. Intuitively, I would say the traditional generation is sufficient. It seems like the rainbow cross helps with generating additional leftwards momentum, which is not really needed here. But the rainbow cross seems to naturally place your body in a position to catch the hole with straight arms. Or it could be that this move is committing but trivial enough that a beta this small doesn't matter. But as the Marquis de Gramont from John Wick 4 says, how you do something is how you do everything. What do you guys think? Which cross is better? Today I'm gonna talk a little bit about decision making in climbing. Let's first look at Tanaka's sequence through the early cracks. Tanaka decides to go for the feet first beta, struggles for almost half a minute before deciding to downclimb and rest. He then tries his alternate beta, which involved matching hands twice, costing him valuable time and energy. Yoshida also attempted the feet first beta, but takes barely a second before decisively switching to his second choice, which he executed smoothly. It's easy to say, oh, Tanaka spent way too long trying to make the feet first beta work. He should have given up and tried something else sooner. But decision making in climbing is a really intricate and personal process. Have you ever had someone come and spray you the intended beta, but you end up sending it in a completely different way that just felt more comfortable and right? Why does the same move feel differently for different people? If you want, you can pause to answer this with your own experiences. One obvious reason is body proportions. A reachy deno will feel more casual for a climber with more reach than a climber with a more limited span. Or you can't change things like your height and span, you can increase the awareness of your physical limits. Improving this awareness allows you to avoid mistakes like thinking you have to cut feet when you have the span to stick the reachy move static. Another reason why the same move can feel different is climbing experience. Simply put, a climber who has placed 1,000 heel hooks will feel more comfortable than someone who has only placed 10. Even if you have the most atrocious heel hook technique, if you have placed 1,000 of those bad heel hooks, you might not do those moves the most efficiently, but will likely feel more comfortable and confident placing heel hooks. So do a check on yourself every now and then. What moves and positions do you want to feel more comfortable in, and then make the effort to include them more in your sessions. Conversely, also check on your comfortable moves. Do these moves and positions feel comfortable because I am doing them right? Or do I need to be less complacent and unlearn some bad habits? Build comfort with repetition, but do not equate comfort with good climbing mechanics. Lastly, it is also important to increase your capacity for discomfort. Recognize that some moves, even executed perfectly, will feel absolutely shit and desperate. Sometimes the reason why you fall isn't because you don't know how the move works. It's not because you don't have the physical capabilities, but because you mentally didn't commit or you mentally gave up. There's a lot more that contributes to effective decision making, and in a competition, the added stress and pressure does not make it any easier. But to summarize the 3 things you can work on right now: understand your body dimensions, build comfort with unfamiliar moves, and grow your capacity for discomfort. Thank you for making it this far. If you enjoyed the video, a like and subscribe helps more than you know and helps keep the channel going. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can now adopt a Plooty. By clicking join, you will get a Plooty companion for your comments, plus perks like early video access, emojis, and input on further content through polls. Please only consider this if it's within your means. Plooty adopter or not, I value every comment and your voice matters here. Thank you, and may you send all your projects. Bye bye.